When most people see those words, polar vortex, they think of ways to escape the cold. But Tim Emmett is not most people.
You know, when people are starting to see the Arctic flow coming in, they're going, oh, I'm thinking, yes, come on.
Tim started climbing when he was just 15 years old, when he was living back in the UK, not knowing that life would eventually bring him to one of the top climbing towns in the world.
Squamish is, I shouldn't say this on public TV, but it is my favourite place in the world. The things about Squamish which is so magical for climbing is that there's an enormous amount of climbing in a very close sort of area.
And while Tim does both rock and ice climbing is way more weather dependent.
What happens in Squamish is that it's not really cold that often, but there's lots of moisture, you know, we're in a rainforest. So if you can get the cold temperatures for long enough, it creates these incredible ice climbs.
But this winter proved to be the perfect one for ice climbers, offering a long enough cold snap to create some pretty epic routes, according to Tim.
I think the most memorable one for me is going into this Waterfall Zone, like around the back of Squamish here. Basically paddleboarded underneath this huge waterfall in dry suits, and then we had our ice climbing gear as well. We ended up climbing the first ascent of the waterfall up the side of it, and then coming down and jumping off.
But you don't have to be a seasoned pro to try your hand at ice climbing. Tim has tips for those that want to get started in the sport.
If you want to get into ice climbing, is to team up with someone that knows what they're doing, especially a guide. They can teach you safely how to do it. The other thing is having the right kit, the right gloves and the right jacket. And you want to stay dry, you want to stay warm, but you want to be able to move.
He also warns anyone that wants to try it out that a lot of these ice climbing routes are in avalanche terrain. And so it's important to have some basic avalanche safety if you choose to climb some of these more difficult areas.